Hit record.
All right, welcome to Speak and Destroy. I'm your host, Andrew Garaventa, main founder and writer of the blogger Electronic Escapism, www.electronicescapism.blogspot.com. With me, as always, my co-host, Stephen Reed.
Hi.
What an introduction.
I don't know what to do.
This is clearly our first time ever
It
doing
is
this.
very much. And we already did a shameless plug.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm going to do one too.
Yes, tell them where you're from, Steve.
I am currently part of a 5-man group.
Ooh.
Fist Team on Twitch, which is www.twitch.tv/Fist Team.
Can you tell the people what Fist Team actually stands for?
Oh, God. Shit. Fist Team stands for fucking intense super team. Team.
Good.
Yes, there's a team at the end and a team within the acronym.
I like it. It's meta. It's good.
It's really in your face about how stupid we are.
So, this is our first time trying a podcast. This is going to be just
And
a
it
basic...
might just be our last.
Could go that way. This is going to be our basic entertainment show. We're going to talk about movies, TV, games, everything that you basically waste your time with. And for our first episode, the thing that I approached Steve with doing was an episode about the best movies from 2014. For me, I used to be really into games, and then I feel like 2014 just wasn't that great for it.
It wasn't too good.
Yeah.
But there were some gems.
Well, you have a Wii U, so it was actually ended up being a really good year for you for games.
Yeah, they really came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, Wii's dead, fucking bury it.
And then it was like, bitch,
And
Mario
if
Kart.
it had little fists, little metaphorical fists, to be crawling out of the grave. Yeah, it was like, bitch, Mario Kart. And they're gonna make whatever, Mario salsa dancing. Anything with Mario, it doesn't fucking matter.
Legend of Zelda, you're on a horse.
Have you seen the open world gameplay of that?
No, I've not.
You could jump off your horse and shoot arrows.
Like in slow motion or just in regular motion?
I think it's slow motion.
That's kind of cool.
I think so. It looks cool, but then again, they show you like a bunch of shit, and then they're like, "Oh, we had to take it out."
Budget costs.
Because I don't know if you remember this, but Last of Us, when they first showed gameplay for that, it was vastly different.
Yeah. Granted, I still think Last of Us is
It's an amazing game, but it was vastly different when they
Again,
first showed
shameless plug on my blog. I gave it a 10 out of 10, which is the highest score that
It's
I
a
can give.
great game, but it was vastly different.
It was.
Just shows how like they're like, "Oh shit, we can't do this because."
Yeah, the AI wasn't.
Yeah.
The AI in the demo
Because they like
was...
look for you and shit, and like they don't like. They turn into like regular AI in the game, and, like they'll just run around.
It's like, it's out of back of my face!
Like, oh, I forgot I had a gun. And then they'll just run around.
Yeah.
And they'll just pop up and let you shoot them in the head.
Mm-hmm. Still an amazing game, though.
It's a great game. How many plugs are we gonna do? What else is good?
Kingsman: The Secret Service.
Oh, I wish that came out in 2014, because all 10 would just be Kingsman.
Kingsman over and over again. Essentially, anywhere where I was going with that was for 2014. I just felt like it wasn't the best year for gaming. There was a lot of big titles that came out that just kind of disappointed. But this was a really, really good year for movies, where there was the big blockbusters that, like, you know, Marvel knocked another one out of the park, another two out of the park, really, or whether it was kind of the smaller indie pieces like Whiplash or something of that nature. Like, this was the year that movies, like, really just, on all cylinders, I felt were kind of just firing on all cylinders. So.
Is this the part where we want to do the disclaimer?
Yeah, so the disclaimer we should do right now is that Steve and I really only started talking about doing this, like, what, a month ago?
I would not even say that. I would say at least 3 weeks.
3 weeks ago. So, I've seen a lot more movies than you from this past year.
And I really wanted to see Birdman and Whiplash, and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, it was...
And it was one of those movies, like, there's some movies like, whatever, fucking Godzilla, I'll stream it, whatever, who gives a shit. But I wanted to show Birdman the respect it deserves, and I did not stream it.
That's good, yeah. Definitely. We are not advocating streaming.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't be Steve. He winked right now. You can't tell because there's no fucking camera.
They can't see me. Please come down here.
Bust through the door like, ah!
Fire a warning shot into a skull. But yeah, I really want to see those two movies. I just couldn't do it. If I'm almost positive with everything I've heard about it, they would be on here at least somewhere.
Sure. Yeah, I work for my job at a public library. So over the past like 2-3 months, all the DVDs and all the movies that have came out over the summer have been coming out on DVD, and I've been just binge watching both the best movies of the last year that I didn't get a chance to see, but also some of the worst. And that is definitely the second episode we're going to do after this one.
Yeah.
I have put myself through hell for this.
You really punish yourself.
Yeah. What was it? I watched Vampire Academy, Divergent, and
This is just a sneak peek to tease you of all the rage that's gonna come. Because
Oh,
he talked to me about Vampire Academy for at least an hour and a half.
you know, I know the whole YA thing isn't my, I'm not the target audience for that. I'm not the target demographic, but my God, that doesn't mean it has to be that.
It doesn't
bad.
matter because someone is a target audience.
Yeah, they made that movie with somebody in mind.
Yeah.
Like, somebody gonna love this movie. It's gonna be great. But there are a lot of movies that I've been catching up on, and you've done your part. But some of the movies that I have to point out that I didn't get a chance to see, but I've heard nothing but good things. Grand Budapest Hotel. I literally borrowed that Blu-ray from one of our friends yesterday, but I wanted to get this first episode done, so I didn't get to see it. Selma, I heard, was very, very good. I didn't get to see that.
Yeah, that's another one on mine as well.
American Sniper, I've heard, it's the movie that everybody seems divided on. Like, is it pro-war, is it anti-war?
I don't know if I can call it good or bad. I know it's the movie everyone's talking about.
Yeah, I've heard it's very good. And my buddy, Brett from Boston, who I hope he listens to this. Hey, Brett.
Another shameless plug.
It's straight shameless plug.
Hey, Brett, me too. Hey, Brett.
But he was telling me, he's like me, he's a liberal guy, but he was like, dude, don't listen to all this stuff that it's like the most intense war propaganda. Just go see it for yourself.
At the end of the day,
enjoyed
it is a movie.
Yeah, it's just a movie. And,
no one's telling you to go out and kill people.
Yeah, so I definitely want to see that. I've heard very good things. Nightcrawler.
I heard
amazing.
I heard
things.
Jake Gyllenhaal's amazing in that.
Yeah,
and
probably,
very creepy.
Yeah, very. Probably the most transformative role that he's ever done.
I'm being honest, I don't think I've seen a Jake Gyllenhaal movie since Prince of Persia. And that shit was
amazing.
What's the opposite of delightful? Is it bad?
Yes, I would think so. Interstellar. Never saw Interstellar.
I wanted to, but every time I was like, all right, I would get ready to go. I'd look at movie showings online. I'd be like, 3 hours?
Yeah, do you want to?
I gotta sit for 3 hours?
Yeah.
A little bit more with previews and stuff and getting seated
sure.
and I don't know if I have that in me.
Dear White People, sorry. I heard that was actually very good.
I also heard good things about it.
Definitely want to check that out eventually. John Wick was supposed to be the big surprise action movie of the year. The one where everybody was like, oh, Keanu Reeves, he's kind of done. He's never coming back.
I've heard that everyone's like, yeah, you hear about Keanu Reeves? He's back.
Yeah.
I was like, where'd he go?
He went to do...
He's in my pog form.
He went to do 47 Ronin. That's where he went to go.
Yeah, I thought he did 47 Ronin and then just walked into the ocean and kept walking.
My people need me elsewhere.
Where are you going, Keanu? And he's like, don't worry about it.
I'm going back to the 90s. Back to the time when I was in Point Break. And then, of course, the one that we were talking about earlier, the big one that it's getting all the award talk, it's the one that everybody's calling, the most intense movie, is Boyhood. Here's the thing. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't prejudge it or anything. It's definitely an achievement to film over 12 years.
Definitely.
The fact that they gave him the budget and said, okay, do this, make this way. The fact that Patricia Arquette and Ethan Hawke and his daughter, I guess, is in it. Richard Linklater's daughter is in it.
Yep.
The kid's name, something Coltrane, I think. Eli Coltrane or something like that. I don't. That sounds like a jazz singer. I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, the fact that they all went along with it, the fact that his parents were like, "Yeah, you could just take our kid for a couple weeks of every year."
Every year,
just
we're sick of raising him. It was Eller Coltrane.
Eller Coltrane. Oh, I was close. But clearly an amazing achievement. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets Best Director. We should point out right now.
Little fun fact, though, I'm going to say this now, like I told him. Does anyone remember a little show called VR Troopers? Because that guy is back. The main dude, Brad Hawkins. He's in Boyhood.
And it took you forever to find him on the IMDb page.
Because, like other people, I forgot about him. But he's back.
I think he forgot about him.
VR Troopers.
We should point out really quick before we really get going is we are recording this on February 21st, so the Oscars are tomorrow. I think we'll probably end up talking about that later, but at the time of this recording, we have no idea who's going to win. But I'm willing to bet Richard Linklater gets the Best Director tomorrow just because,
Only because of what, it symbolizes.
Yeah,
what he did.
The achievement for it. But again, my thing with it is, and again, I can't prejudge it because I haven't seen it, so I really shouldn't even put my foot in my mouth, but I'm just wondering, the thing I'm wondering about it is, will it hold my attention? as a
That's
movie.
what I was thinking about too.
Because everything I've heard about it is, wow, it's such an achievement. It's about life itself.
I haven't heard anything about really like
what's it about?
Yeah, what's it
Like,
about?
it's about life, man. It's like, cool. What's the story there? This is he grows up.
So if I'm to assume that a kid's born, he like goes to elementary school, goes to college, does some weed, get married, and dies.
And that's Boyhood.
Boyhood.
Brought to you by Richard Linklater.
And the sequel, Boys to Menhood.
Oh, Boys to Menhood. Here's the thing about Richard Linklater too. I didn't realize, I heard about Boyhood. I heard about all this, the whole talk about this. And I was like, wow, this guy must do like really crazy movie. And I know he also, the big thing he's done is the Before trilogy with Julie Delpy and Ethan Hawke. It's a series.
I have no idea what that is.
It's 3 movies that the two of them did. It's the actress Julie Delpy and Ethan Hawke play a couple. I've never seen these movies. I've heard very good things. I want to check them out. But it's essentially like the beginning of their relationship, like the middle, and like marriage. And it's 3 separate movies. It's before sunset, before sunrise, and I think before midnight. I think that's the 3 of them. I have no idea what order they came out.
When did these come out?
They came out like over the course of 17 years. Like it was like they just kept getting back together to make more of these movies. So in a way,
did they have like a lot of like? Were they like
very big
under the radar?
They're very big indie hits.
Okay.
But the idea there being that they're all self-contained movies, but they're all obviously they connect. It's the same characters, and the idea of like a relationship over that period of time, and it's evolving. So it's kind of like Boyhood, in the sense that it's like 3 movies through that period of time.
Okay.
But then I was like, man, he does these intense big projects. What the hell else is this guy? I'm like, how do I know his name? School of Rock.
He did School of Rock?
Richard Linklater in Boyhood was School of Rock. I didn't realize that.
He was doing that while he was doing Boyhood?
I guess.
So Ethan Hawke does interesting, because I only remember him from that shitty movie he did with Selena Gomez. He's like, I'm in a car, where's my wife?
Oh, do you mean Getaway?
Yes, thank you.
Oh.
And Selena Gomez like, I don't know who your wife is.
Selena Gomez trying to be a street tough?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just let that sink in.
Give me money.
The best comedy of the year. Getaway.
It somehow wins at the Oscars tomorrow. It's not even supposed to.
Getaway. It came out like, what, 2 years ago?
2 years ago. Like, how? He opens the letter. He's like, what the fuck? It's Getaway. For Best Director, though. The whole cast, just the car from it comes up on stage.
All right, so we're going to get into, this is our... Did we already say that we're doing top 10? I don't even know if we covered that.
I think we are doing a top 10. Top 10 of our best.
So these are our personal favorites.
We did somewhat explain that. Do you want to just, both of us, read our lists and just give a quick, like, gun to your head summary of it?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. So do you have any honorable mention? Because I know that you didn't get to see as many.
I've seen the least amount. My honorable mention would be, like, I did like 22 Jump Street. It made me laugh.
Yeah.
But there was just so many. It wasn't as good as the first one.
Yeah.
It was still fun, though.
Yeah. I definitely have more honorable mentions than you.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Oh, God.
I'm looking at your list.
I know.
It's bigger than mine.
Metaphors. So Neighbors, I thought, was a pretty good comedy. Here's the thing about Neighbors. I thought Zac Efron was really good in it. I thought Rose Byrne was really good in it. I didn't love Seth Rogen in it because he just played the same character.
Yes, he was.
And I wanted him to be something different.
That's because it's not the way they portrayed it in the trailer.
Yeah, in the trailer.
He was like the straight man that time. Like he was like trying to be the good father, husband.
Yeah, that's what I thought he was going to do. And then like the opening scenes with him, he's smoking weed. The first time he goes to meet Zac Efron, he does like a bunch of mushrooms like without anybody pressuring him.
Yep.
So it's just like classic Seth Rogen. I was like, man, he's funny when he does that. There's no denying that. But it's getting to that point where it's like, all right, what else are you going to bring to the table?
Yeah,
and which is funny because in the interview he was the kind of straight man. So and James Franco was the kind of wacky one. But that doesn't always that movie show that doesn't work out too well. What did you think about the interview, really quick, before we keep going? Just real fast. I wouldn't put it on my worst of the year.
I wouldn't put it on the I would put it on a nothing list. It would be in limbo. It's just a movie.
It is just a movie.
It's there. Like the only reason it's doing so well is because of the controversy behind it.
Definitely. Let's see, some other honorable mentions for me. Big Hero 6 I thought was adorable, but I felt like I didn't love it as much as I thought I was going to because I thought they wasted a little bit of time with the friends. I get the fact that they had to put the 4 friends in there to make it the 6-man team. Yeah. But I kind of liked it more when they were focused on Hero and Baymax. Yeah. And I mean, that was obviously the driving part of the movie. Foxcatcher was... Here's the thing about Foxcatcher. It was amazingly well directed. Michael Bennett. The acting was probably some of the best of the year. Steve Carell was great. Mark
looked
Ruffalo was
freaky.
great. Yeah, he looked really freaky. Channing Tatum is not getting enough recognition because he really killed in that movie. The thing is, that movie is fairly long, but it's just so slowly paced, and it's a very quiet movie.
You're right, Albie. He's actually, a lot of people don't know this. He's actually very diverse.
Yeah, he's kind of been.
You're right. I just put that together when you just said that. I was like, I've never noticed that.
Yeah, he's been making big strides. He's come a long way since Step Up. So,
was he in Step Up 2 The Streets?
I don't know. Maybe? I don't think so, though. I think he was just in the first one. But the thing about Foxcatcher is, like, it's a good movie, but it's just uncomfortable to watch because it's so long. Even if I don't even think it's that long. I just think it felt that long because it's so slow and quiet. It's one of those movies, like, if you go to... I saw it in the theater, and there was only, like, 10 other people in the building. And, like, if anybody fucking talks during that movie, it just ruins the experience.
You're out of it. Is it one of those movies where you notice, like sometimes I just notice, like, I'm sitting?
Yeah.
One of those experiences?
I got up to piss, like, 3 times in that movie. I didn't even have to pee that many times. I just kept being like, I need to get up and move because this is a really well-done movie, and I like it. But I'm just... It's taking a lot.
There are
for
some
me to
movies that are
watch
just
it.
better in, like, the comfort of your own home.
Yeah, I would want to rewatch it once it comes out on, like, DVD or if it's on, like, a streaming, like, Netflix or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't... As a theater experience, I wouldn't suggest it as a theater experience because, like I said, you get one motherfucker who talks during that thing, and it just throws the whole experience.
Yeah,
so
I feel like some of the ones on my list are because it was a great theater experience.
Well, I mean, hey, that adds a lot to it.
Yeah.
22 Jump Street, I agree. That one was funny. The meta humor was, it was interesting. I'm just getting really sick of how many movies we're getting now, these comedy sequels that they know they're comedy sequels, and they're just like, let's just go with that.
It almost got on my list just because of the end credits.
The end credits was good.
Where it's just making crazy trailers for sequels of 22 Jump Street.
I know. I hope now that they don't make a third one, though.
They should just make a skit where they just do that.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be funny. Godzilla. Godzilla was a very divisive movie. Yeah, divisive movie. Some people really liked it. I liked it a lot. I bought it. I thought it was really good. I get it's one of those movies that I understand why people didn't like it because of the whole, like the build up and for me it wasn't so much that I thought I was going to hate Aaron Taylor Johnson in that movie, and I don't think he was particularly good in it, but I thought he was serviceable.
Yeah.
I think that people were really pissed because they made such a big thing in the marketing about Bryan Cranston being in it. And then, he fucking dies. Like,
that was a trick.
Spoiler.
That was there's no other way around it other than, see this movie, and then them just pulling the carpet from under feet.
It's just like, hey, it's Walter White. I don't know if you noticed this, but in the opening credit sequence, when it's showing all their names, and, it'll show, a block of text, and then, all the rest of the text will get, blocked out, it's a redacted government file.
Yeah.
When his name is on there, as, starring Bryan Cranston, the other words in the background get whited out until it just says Walter White. Bryan Cranston.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah.
I did not notice. I'm going to have to rewatch that.
I saw that. I think that was on a Crack.com article.
Godzilla, I'm the one who roars.
I'm the one who knocks. So, yeah, I really liked it, though. I thought that... I get why people were, mad when there's those scenes of, it's Godzilla and the monster, and you're like, this is it! And then it cuts away.
Yeah.
I feel like that was kind of a cheap move.
At the same time, though, I didn't hear anyone complaining about that when it was Cloverfield.
I agree. I think that this one, I don't know, for me...
They did a lot in Cloverfield.
They did. And I feel like for me, I would take Godzilla over Cloverfield or a Pacific Rim any day. But I'm not going to get into Pacific Rim right now because that's a whole...
We can talk about Pacific Rim all day.
I can talk about how much...
I grew a big white bushy beard talking about Pacific Rim.
How much I was not into Pacific Rim.
It's in... I didn't hate it. I would call it another Limbo film for me. It exists.
I feel like online it gets a lot of love that it didn't necessarily.
It's not bad. If I go into a movie and leave, like, I didn't waste my money.
Yeah,
it's fine. Agree. I don't care.
What other ones did I have? God, I had so many fucking honorable mentions. I'm sorry, everybody. How to Train Your Dragon 2 was literally on my list for a little while there, and then it got bumped off. I think it's an amazing movie.
Did it get bumped off because you called some of the twists in it?
It is. That's what I was telling you a little while before we did it. There are 2 big dramatic twists that happen in the movie. I'm not going to go into them here because I don't want to spoil. One of them is actually revealed in the trailer, though.
Some people don't watch trailers because of that, though.
Yeah.
If you don't... fuck this guy. Who is this guy? Andrew, he said his name was? Yeah. I hope he says a list of fears and where he lives.
It's just there were two big twists that happened in the movie, and I literally was watching it with my buddy and his girlfriend, and I felt bad afterwards because our friend Jocelyn, she like the first one was one of her favorite movies.
It's a great movie,
and she was like, "Oh, I've never seen the second one." I'm like, "Oh, let's watch it together, everybody." And then with both twists, I said it right. I was like, "Oh, this is what's gonna happen," and then it happened, and they both looked at me like, "What the fuck, man? Come on!" And like so like. It didn't diminish the movie for me, but it did just... It was something that kind of took me out enough where I was like, there are other movies that I saw this year that I was like, no, this is better.
Yeah.
The Raid 2, I loved it. I'm sorry.
You didn't put The Raid 2 on your list?
I didn't.
Okay, we didn't discuss these lists beforehand, so he slapped me in the face.
I'm sorry. The Raid 2 was really good. It was an amazing action film. I feel like it was just a little bit too long.
You made me stay up and watch that with you. I was very tired.
It was like 8 at night, and I made him
We watched both.
We watched the first... I kind of like the first one more. A little bit. I think the second one's a better movie.
You know why? It's the open world of the second one.
I think so.
They're just like, you feel they're trapped, and they're like in this
that hallway scene. But I will say this, probably one of the best pieces of cinematography all year was that fucking car scene.
Oh, yeah.
The car chase in The Raid 2... It was one of those things where it's an amazing camera work thing going on, and I didn't even really think about it until afterwards when you and Kevin, our friend Kevin, who oftentimes shows up on the Fist Super Team, he was mentioning, he's like, yeah, did you see how they had to like hand the cameras out of one car into the next
into another?
And it's like one of those things where it's so seamless.
That's actually why it's high on my list, because it's beautifully shot.
There was one more honorable mention, and this is the one that I think... Oh, sorry, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, because we saw that recently. I just did a review of that on my blog, and where I really go into it. But the big thing for me, and we were talking about this, is I read an article, and I can't remember the woman's name. I quoted her and gave the link to her original article in my blog review. But she had this quote that was essentially like, this movie essentially breaks down to that sketch from Always Sunny where Charlie's like, wild card bitches. Because they're just three different characters.
We were yelling about that the whole time, the first like 5 minutes.
Yeah, like the three characters, Koba,
I don't remember who that guy's name
is.
Carver, the guy who shoots first and asks questions never.
Yeah, that guy was awful. Gary Oldman's character to a certain extent.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They just kind of do things without thinking about them or talking about them, and it just kind of took me out.
The movie basically boils down to no one waits for 2 fucking seconds, which would have stopped everything.
Yes, exactly. So Dawn of the Planet, I know that a lot of people love that movie. I saw it on a lot of top best of the year lists, but for me, it just didn't quite make it. I really liked it, and the motion capture work there is really, really good. And the guy who played Toby Kebbell was great as Koba, and Andy Serkis once again just knocked it out of the park as Caesar. But for me, there was just that thing in the back of my mind where I was like, oh my god, yeah, like this entire movie just comes down to people making rash decisions. And then furthermore, the human characters added nothing for me.
Oh, absolutely not.
Like Kerry Russell is going through this big career resurgence because of that show, The Americans, which is getting really good reviews.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, she's got this good show that's coming out right now. She's getting a lot of buzz from that. So now she's in this movie. And like, I could have forgotten that she was in this movie because she's just kind of there.
That's true.
And then finally, my final honorable mention, and then I'll shut the fuck up for a little bit. Guardians of the Galaxy. You
did not put...
I know.
Whiplash or fucking Birdman knocked it out, didn't it?
Guardians of the Galaxy, when I saw it, I was like, this is a really good movie. I'm going to tell a really quick story. A lot of times when I watch big movies like this, I watch them with my dad. And my dad is not into sci-fi or comic book movies.
He's not.
Not at all. But, he always gives it a good try. If he knows it's a movie that I want to watch, he'll always sit down and watch with me. And he sat down and watched the entire fucking movie because of the amazing soundtrack. He heard the amazing sound and he goes, what's this shit? And then he just sat down and like watched the whole thing. And by the end of
the Jackson 5?
sat down by the end of it and was like, hey, when's this fucking movie gonna end? I'm like, I didn't make you watch it. But he's like, nah, it's cool.
Like you have him in the cave from Iron Man, just making him watch the movie.
But the thing is, it's like it didn't ruin the movie because he didn't like it. But for me, the thing was, I was watching this movie with him, and I loved it when I saw it in the theaters. And I was like, man, this is a great movie. But I was like watching it through his eyes, kind of. And I was like going into this movie as somebody who knows nothing about these characters, nothing about the Marvel Universe, like, how is he reacting to it? And I realized there's just so much exposition in that movie that's just set up exposition of, like, here's who Thanos is, here's who the fucking Infinity Gems are. And it just, it just kind of took me out a little bit because I was like, wow, as much as James Gunn claimed in a recent interview, this happened a little while ago, but he said in an interview that Guardians of the Galaxy is not just here to service the Avengers. They've laid a lot of groundwork for the Avengers.
I think maybe when he said that, like,
future ones,
because the first one definitely is to fucking set up the Avengers.
That being said, it was still a great movie. I really enjoyed it, but for me, it just didn't blow me away like some of the other movies that came out this year. Definitely feel like the cast was great. Like I said, the soundtrack was great. Dave Bautista really surprising because I thought he was going to be awful.
I thought he was going to be really stiff, but he ended up being one of the better parts of it.
Yeah, he ended up being really funny.
It's actually one of my complaints about the movie. He didn't get enough to do.
Yeah, which is surprising because I thought he was going to be terrible in it. And now he's going to be Inspector. And like as long as he keeps playing these kind of just not lead roles, I think he's going to be fine. Because he was great in that. God, Drax had so many good one-liners, so... But yeah, that was the big one that I was like, oh my god, this one's not going to be my top 10. And people would be like, what the fuck?
You are kind of like a piece of shit.
People are going to be like, I'm not going to fucking tune into any more of this podcast. That guy's an asshole.
Yeah, human garbage is what I'd call you.
Alright, so I've gone on for way too long, so why don't we go ahead and do your list then?
My list? Oh boy.
Yeah, do you want to just go right through? And then...
I don't know. I mean, for number 10, I have Godzilla. Quick synopsis. Giant lizard. If you watch it backwards, he rebuilt a city with a couple of monster friends. But I thought it was really good. It was really reminiscent of old school Godzilla. Because everyone's complaining about you don't see him that much. Old school Godzilla was exactly like that.
Yeah, he wasn't really.
He wasn't really shown that much until like the end.
Yeah,
it was really good build up.
That finishing move
is what put it on the list. Because
dude, so cool.
If you don't want to listen to it right now, the spoiler, just do la 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 for like 2 seconds. He shoots his atomic roar in its mouth and decapitates it. That was the most fucking. That was awesome. I was like, oh. I was like, oh boy.
How did you feel about Aaron Taylor Johnson in it?
The humans did nothing for me.
Yeah, Elizabeth Olsen, who's been in a big role recently, like, really was barely in it too. Same with Bryan Cranston. She was like just kind of there and like, ah.
But Bryan Cranston, at least in his the writing's defense, he was part of the plot.
Yeah,
she was just there.
She was just
like,
motivation.
oh, we also have a baby. The human stuff, there was just a bunch of bullshit that was thrown in there. I'm like, why though? Especially like what comes to mind, the part with he finds the young Asian boy.
Yeah.
And he helps. He's like, I'm lost. And he's like, well, I'm here. I'm kick ass. And then he holds the boy. And the best scene, the most funny scene is he just lets the boy go and he runs to his parents. They don't even say thank you or anything. He just runs off and kind of like, I was expecting him to have to turn around and just flip him off. Thanks for nothing, loser. But yeah, that's definitely in there. Like, another big, like, it's not a big complaint, but the monster designs aside from Godzilla are kind of basic and plain.
The Mutos?
Yeah, the Mutos. Like, Godzilla's known for having some like, creative monsters, and I thought they were going to do that. They were going to make their own. And
do you think they're just going to save
the classic ones? They're just like
ones?
mini Cloverfields.
Yeah, they definitely
They just had long legs and bodies, and they wanted to bang.
They did. My only other big problem with it was just that the way that like Aaron Taylor Johnson always seemed to be within like fucking like biting distance of the monsters.
The classic, they all fall for that. Like, it snuck up on us. How?
Yeah.
Like, remember, there's a part where they're on the bridge and they're trying to set up the bomb.
Yeah, and it's right
and
under
it's just there. And Kick-Ass just lying down. He's like, I hope it doesn't find me.
Well, the big thing, too, for me was, like, the sequence when they're on the train with these, again, where he's with the Asian kid, when the train is going towards the first, the male Muto. That part I thought was cool just because of that whole thing of, like, ah, shit, we're going right for him. But
that's another movie where it's shot very well. And
yeah,
it keeps my attention. I liked it. I liked Ken Watanabe in it because I like him.
Yeah,
I liked it
when
all
he's
around.
not voicing a Transformer. We'll get to that one eventually.
Oh man, he's so salty about it.
Very salty.
But yeah, did Aaron Tyler Johnson ruin it for me? Definitely not.
Yeah.
But it's just like you're gonna have that because the focal point is Godzilla, but there's got to be other stuff.
Okay.
But number 9 was Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Okay, so
I watched it with you, and it was just fun. It barely squeaked through. More action probably helped get it squeak past Godzilla.
How about them apes on horses though?
Apes on horses won it. Apes riding horses
with double machine guns. So cool.
If I could have a GIF of that. Do you say GIF or GIF?
GIF?
I don't like saying GIF because then I think I'm talking about peanut butter, and I don't like peanut butter. I just wanted to know about that.
That's un-American.
But yeah, it was good. I thought it was really interesting. Humans, once again, nothing except for that one main dude.
Jason Clarke was fine.
Yeah, like they really had to shove in there like one human has to be his friend.
Yeah, and I thought.
But I thought he was good with it. But that driving forward, the reason why it's so low is because once again, no one would fucking just wait.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, ah, apes, we gotta kill them, and then that made it so Gary Oldman's character had everyone storm the armory.
Yeah.
Which made them come out, and then it was just they made it.
I liked Koba as a villain because like he had a good motivation, like especially
Yeah,
seeing you didn't see the first one.
No.
Okay, so you didn't see Koba. It wasn't the same guy who did Koba in the first movie.
Oh, okay.
They definitely most of the motion capture performances I think were the same. Like the person who did the orangutan was the same in the first one, but Toby Kebbell only took over for this one, and he did such a better job. Like Koba in the first one, he was just menacing, but you got that feeling of him being tortured for years, and it was at the end where he killed David Oyelowo, who then went on to be Martin Luther King Jr. So
good for him,
and didn't get nominated for an Oscar.
Oh. But like I was worried about it when you first asked me to watch it with you because I knew about the premise of the first one.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, they can do stuff because there's still a bunch of humans around. It's forming, but now this one's based mostly on the apes themselves this time.
Which I thought it was better when it was them.
Better just with them. I thought I was like, oh, how are they gonna drag this out? But it didn't have to. It was very entertaining.
Yeah. For being a movie with zero dialogue until almost 20 minutes in.
Yeah, it was still very
all beginning with just sign language subtitles.
Sign language is like the beginning part is them just hunting.
Yeah,
it was really cool just to see how their society functions that they made.
And then you throw the humans in. It's like,
but still, though, that one dude, what was his name? Carver. He was just you're so.
Who else am I gonna blame? It's
yeah,
like, I don't know.
He ruins at least 3 points in that movie, and you just want him to just die.
I know. So all right, so that was Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Yep. For number 8 for me, I have Big Hero 6.
Ooh.
I thought it was very, very good. It's one of my favorite animated Pixar films now.
It's not Pixar. It's
not Pixar. I always keep doing that. It's Disney.
Studios.
Yeah, I keep doing that. But I also said it's my favorite animated Pixar film. What else does Pixar do?
Pixar. This was the thing though. It's really funny because Pixar has like really fallen off the wagon. Like Up and Toy Story 3. I think
the last like
that was 2009 and.
Because you know what? They had to do Cars 2 and then Planes.
Did you ever see Monsters University? I never saw that.
I did see Monsters University.
Was that any good? Because I feel like it came out and nobody talked about it.
Had the charm of a Pixar movie, but just, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
I wish they made a new one.
Yeah. I will say Inside Out looks really good. That's their new one that's coming out next year. It looks really creative. But I feel like with
the sequel to Osmosis Jones.
That's never coming. I don't think that was even Pixar.
It wasn't.
It definitely wasn't. Why did I even say that? It definitely wasn't. But I just feel like I feel like Pixar has really like not been as pivotal as they have been, and I feel like Walt Disney Studios, their animation studios, have really stepped into the void because they did Tangled, which I feel like a lot of people like never saw it though, but it was well received enough where it's like, oh,
Tangled was a great movie.
Disney did, so Disney did a movie, like they're back in the game.
Yeah.
They're kind of trying to match Pixar at their own
and they're doing
level.
It, and they're surpassing them.
And now they are. Wreck-It Ralph, I never got to see.
That was
very
good
things. Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Frozen I did see, which was very good.
Never saw Frozen.
Frozen was very good. I didn't... It's overhyped to shit.
Doesn't Josh Gad voice the...
Yeah, he was. He was the snowman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was
good.
But
Big Hero 6, you know why I get mistaken because I thought it was a Pixar movie? It has very emotional parts to it.
It does.
And it's very strong storytelling. I do think it focuses too much on the friends because like the main draw of it is the relationship between him and Baymax for obvious reasons because it's left behind for him. But yeah, there's this one scene where he's like, spoilers again if you want to just tune out or whatever, but he tells Baymax to kill that dude.
Oh,
and I was like, holy shit.
That part was intense.
He's like, and then the friend's like, no, you gotta come. He's like, don't tell me what to do. He's gonna die.
Yeah.
Definitely. So it had the characters are very strong in that movie. So I enjoyed it a lot.
T.J. Miller was good in that as the comedy.
T.J. Miller was in that.
Guess what? T.J. Miller wasn't good in Transformers. We'll get to that.
He keeps pulling you back in. I am worried about the sequel though, because obviously the end credits, if you saw it, they're clearly setting up for something.
Oh, was there a scene after the credits?
Yep.
I didn't see that.
And
I left before.
It's basically setting up for a second one, you could tell. But the thing that made Big Hero 6 so strong is why it should be a one and done is because the emotional storytelling. You can't do that again.
Who else is it gonna lose?
Yeah. Who else is like?
What else is gonna happen?
That's the draw. So this is gonna be them running around like we're heroes, and that's not as compelling.
I feel like that was where they took it off from, is the comics with like this 6-person hero team.
Yeah, they changed a lot up from the comic, which I can't.
I've never read the comic. I don't know anything about it, but I'm sure they changed it up. But I feel like that's why I said before. I feel like they added those 4 friends in, and we're just like
he had within the first one. They had the friends, but I feel like they maybe weren't as featured
in the first movie.
No. It's based off a comic.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to see what it's from because I know what it's from. I just can't. Anyway, yeah, it's based off a comic.
Okay. All right. So Big Hero 6.
My other one next is Grand Budapest Hotel, which you did not see.
I did not see that. My dad saw it. He really liked it.
I really liked
Everybody
it too.
liked it.
Because I've not seen a Wes Anderson film since probably Royal Tenenbaums.
I haven't seen a Wes Anderson movie since Life Aquatic.
But it was just funny, and it was just really interesting storytelling. It was just well done. Like, Edward Norton did a great job.
Oh, yeah, he's in that.
Oh, he just lit up with a smile. You can't see it, but he was grinning ear to ear.
Like, oh, yeah.
Edward Norton was great in it. It was just really good. It was just really fun.
Nice.
It was just,
I feel like it's a little bit more accessible than some of his other stuff.
It's more like you can get into it.
Yeah.
Easier than you can his other movies. Because I feel like his other movies you're watching, you're like, oh, okay. And then you learn about the characters as they go, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm kind of into it now. But you may be like a half hour, like an hour into the movie.
Yeah.
This one was just like, this is like 30 minutes. I was like, this is a great movie.
Nice.
This is fun.
I liked Royal Tenenbaums a lot. He lost me with Life Aquatic, and I know that's for a lot of people.
I agree. That's sacrilege to a lot of people, though.
Yeah, no, for a lot of people, they love Life. For me, it was because, like, growing up, my dad's like favorite comedies growing up were like the 80s, like vintage 80s Bill Murray.
Oh, okay.
And so like I grew up on like vintage Bill Murray, like Meatballs, Ghostbusters.
Life Aquatic was not.
And that's that was
not
like Lost in Translation was where he really started doing more dramatic roles.
Yeah.
But that was still an amazing movie. But Life Aquatic was like, oh, cool, he's doing a comedy again, because Lost in Translation is more of a drama to me.
It's not. It has some elements to it, but yeah, it's not a.
And so I was like, all right, cool, this Life Aquatic movie looks really funny. And then I'm watching and I'm like, oh, okay, this is just some wacky-ass shit. And it just kind of lost me, and I was like, oh. But again, because I went into it expecting classic Bill Murray, but he's kind of on to the next stage of his career right now, so.
Apparently the comic is just called Big Hero 6.
Oh, all right.
I had to do some searching. I knew it was based on a comic, I just didn't know.
Okay.
Looking for the next one. Next one on my list is the Lego Movie, which you also quite enjoyed.
I love the Lego Movie. I'll get to that when I talk about it. But...
I liked it. Okay. A lot of people are going to hate me for this. The human parts drew me out of it.
Wow.
I know it's like, father, son, I love you, play with this Lego. But like, I liked the allusions to the human world better. Like when they found like he called like the Craggle like the super glue.
Yeah.
And stuff. And then when they went into it, I was just pulled out of it.
Okay.
Like, it wasn't as magical anymore, as corny as that sounds. So I was just like, okay. But it wasn't bad, though. Like, it didn't like, oh, I hate this movie. I hate real-life Will Ferrell. I hate your face. Get out of here with your dopey son. Can I play with Legos, Dad? No, Mom left us because this is my thing. But I was like, it's still good. It has a heartwarming message, and it's funny. Okay. I liked all the voice acting in it. It was really good. Yeah, it was just funny. I love Charlie Day as this 80s space one who just wanted to make a spaceship.
Spaceship.
And the greatest idea that's not invented yet. Or it might be invented.
Double-decker couch.
Is double-decker couch real?
No, but they did.
How much is it? $80? $90?
They made a Lego playset out of the double-decker couch.
Man. How late is Toys R Us open?
way too late now.
The next one for me is X-Men Days of Future Past.
Oof.
And
good.
This is why... It's a good film, but it's here because it totally negates the shitty Last Stand.
Absolutely.
It just gets rid of it. And if it doesn't get points for that...
Also got rid of X-Men Wolverine. Origins Wolverine.
Yep. Who did Last Stand?
Last Stand was Brett Ratner.
Brett Ratner. It totally just was like it just crumpled it up like when you write something, you're like, oh, this is good, and then you're like, oh no, it's shit, and you just toss it. Like
that was
if you were to look back at your 8th grade notebook and look at like poetry, like life is sad, no one loves me, all alone, hallways dark, and you're like, oh god, you just toss it and throw it away. That's what Last Stand is.
That basically was Brett Ratner's version of the Dark Phoenix saga. That poem.
That was. There. And Dark Phoenix Saga is one of the most, like, when people think of X-Men, like, story arcs, they think of that.
Yeah,
and it was really fucking shitty.
It's like, I'm gonna stare at stuff until it blows up.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we made a cure for being a mutant. No, okay. No. End of movie.
Yep.
No one needs to fight anymore.
And then they suddenly all came back. So
They suddenly all came back because Cyclops is not my favorite X-Men.
yeah,
But I was so pissed that they just killed him.
Yeah.
And it was just good. Quicksilver was really well done.
Yeah, I don't know how...
I liked him. He was funny. I liked the little quick joke. He's like, my mom dated someone who had magnet.
They just stare at each other real quick. Like, oh.
He's like, oh boy.
Oh,
but
man.
it was just really good. Who plays Professor X? James McAvoy?
James McAvoy.
He's really good. I like him.
Oh, he stole that.
Yeah, he really did. And it made me really excited for X-Men Apocalypse.
Definitely.
Especially now that I saw they cast Nightcrawler.
Oh, yeah. Who did they get for that?
Some guy I don't know. Oh, you know who it is, actually?
Who?
The one who played the dude's son in Planet of the Apes.
Oh, Cody Smith-McPhee.
Yes. How do you know him?
I don't fucking know. I just know the name.
Cody Smith-McPhee. How you just have that on register?
I
That push out long division? Do you not know?
Yo, oh God, yeah. Ask me to do a math question and I'll just stare
2
at
plus
you.
2. Cody Smith-McPhee.
I'll have drool coming out of my mouth.
Cody Smith-McPhee.
Ask me like random celebrity names. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotcha.
So that for me just did it right there. It was just well done, especially the future parts where they're just fighting to keep Kitty Pryde.
That was so intense.
The only question I have, this is just me being nerdy, but I was like, why can Kitty Pryde go through time? Or why did she have that?
I don't know. I mean, that was one of the things. I feel like a lot of people, like the really purists, were like, "Oh man, you know, in the comics, she was the one who got sent back in time."
Yeah,
so I feel like they gave her that role to kind of pay homage to the comics and like.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not like I'm just nitpicky. Sometimes.
Oh yeah,
it's
definitely.
not anything. Number 4 for me is Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow,
which is based on that one. I know is based off the manga. All You Need Is Kill. Which I don't know why we do this in America, but like. Leave that title alone. That title's amazing. Why do we have to change shit?
I know. And
All You Need Is Kill is great. Is that a heavy metal band? I don't know. It sounds awesome.
The best part, too, is Edge of Tomorrow was such a shitty name, and now they've officially renamed it because people responded more to the tagline on the poster, which was Live, Die, Repeat.
Yeah.
And they were less inclined to Edge of Tomorrow. So now the official title is Live, Die, Repeat, semicolon, Edge of Tomorrow.
It always reminds me to wash my hair. And I don't think that was their intent.
Tom Cruise, really good in that movie?
Because right before I saw that, I had just watched Oblivion.
Oh, God.
So I was like, it wasn't bad. The movie's not bad.
Okay. But I heard it wasn't good either.
It's alright.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh boy, Oblivion 2.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to watch that.
That was a common misconception,
was it?
I think. A lot of people
But then I was like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Emily Blunt was amazing in it. I like how she wasn't just like, Tom Cruise, save me.
Yeah, she kicked like, ass.
She kicked ass and she taught Tom Cruise how to kick ass.
Yeah.
And their training scene is like one of my favorite scenes in like any movie.
Definitely.
Like him just dying.
Yeah.
My favorite part is he's like crawling on the floor. He broke his leg. She's like, we gotta start over. And he's coming over with
come
a gun.
on.
He's like, no.
Oh, I can do it.
It was a great movie. It falls victim to some of the classic Tom Cruise, like he has to shove it in there. There's a scene with him on a motorcycle. He drives to like a pub for like 2 seconds. Like, I drive a motorcycle, you know? So they had to throw that in there. And
was there a scene of him running? There had to have been.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But, like, I know there was a scene where he's on the beach and he's in the power suit and he's kind of stumbling along. But I don't remember if there was a scene where he did his straight marathon.
No, I don't know if there was a straight marathon, man.
Because, like, he does
but, like,
that
he played kind of like a different character. Normally, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
he's
he
already an
kicks ass.
expert. It was just nice to see him as, like, I don't know what the fuck to do. He's kind of like this Weasley, like, kind of guy.
The PR guy.
Yeah, the PR guy. He doesn't want to be there.
He could talk his way out of the situation. But...
Yeah. And the only problem I have is the ending.
I agree.
Another classic Tom Cruise thing is movies end, and Oblivion did this too. Movies end with Tom Cruise just smirking. He's like, end credits now, please. And it ended with him just looking at Emily Blunt because he goes back in time one final time, and she doesn't know. Spoilers. Sorry.
It's time to go.
I hope you've seen it.
Yeah, if anybody hasn't seen these movies,
I apologize. If you haven't seen it, it's still a good movie. It doesn't really... Whatever.
It's time travel.
Just no spoiler. It ends with him smiling.
So you got that to
just
look
looking deep into your eyes.
Is he smiling because they won? Is he smiling because humanity dies and it's this like really existential moment? I don't fucking know. You'll have to watch the movie.
Aliens were kind of really fucking cool.
Yeah.
They moved cool. Like the way they fought and shit, they're just fucking shit up.
I kind of thought it was cool that you never got a good look at them.
You never did, but it just looked really cool. All action scenes were really well done, so that's why.
Yeah. So for number 4, Edge of Tomorrow.
Yep. Number 3 is Captain America 2. The Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Definitely, I would say the best comic book movie.
It's the best comic book movie. And especially surprising to me because Captain America 1 wasn't my favorite.
No, I would agree.
It wasn't bad, but I was just like, okay.
First Avenger, you were just like,
Yeah, he's there. He threw a shield once or twice. Cool.
Yeah, that's fun. Rode a motorcycle. Yeah.
Are you gonna tell this story or am I? Because I know you're gonna bring it up at some point. How I got startled in the theater.
I was not gonna bring that up. Go ahead.
Oh, you didn't remember? Okay. This is the only time I've like let out a loud gasp.
Audible gasp.
Audible gasp. And there's a part in the movie where Captain America kicks a man.
It was the Winter Soldier. Check yourself.
Oh, it was the Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
I think that's what made it a little worse for me because I thought it was Captain America.
Oh, come on.
Kicking an enemy. Okay, good. So Winter Soldier kicks someone
dude
into
an
engine fan of a plane, and it was just so quick and destructive that my brain couldn't register it, and it was just like, violence. What do you do?
Sitting next to him in the theater, he just went, oh no.
But there was an old lady next to me, kind of looked over, like, are you all right? But he went into the engine of man. He came out as fire, and I couldn't handle it. But like that movie was amazing. It was like shot like almost not like a comic book movie, but like a spy thriller.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I just thought it was really different. It was really I like how Black Widow got more screen time. She was really good in it.
She was a character, and not just kind of.
She was a character in it. Winter Soldier was amazing. The fight scenes were
awesome.
Samuel
Jackson was good in it.
Samuel Jackson was good in it. It just set up a lot of stuff. Like it set up spoilers. I don't know if it's a spoiler or whatever. It sets up like Nick Fury being underground.
Yeah.
That underground arc where he's just gone. Shield's disbanded, and not to mention that, but it also helped fucking Agents of Shield just topple TV because they were held back so long because of that. And then once that came out and let it go, that show's been amazing. So,
which is funny because it's still not doing very well in the ratings.
I don't know why.
Because I feel like a lot of people tune in. If you've never checked out Agents of Shield, season 1 in its entirety is on Netflix right now. I will say you have to stick with it for a little while because, again, without going into too many spoilers for Captain America 2 or for that matter for Agents of Shield, there's a big plot tie-in between the Winter Soldier and Agents of Shield. Like Shield kind of gets, rocked to its very core as an organization. And so it was one of those things where when I saw that movie, I was like, I wonder how the show is going to react to this because they're going to have to. And the thing that was cool was they had known about the plot twist all along.
Yeah, since the show debuted.
And they had been waiting for it. So essentially you had to go through almost like a couple months worth of episodes.
Yep.
To get to this final moment.
You can almost feel Joss Whedon somewhere just crossing his fingers, just stay with it, stay with it.
And like it's been amazing right now. And the season 2 it's been really good. I have not watched Agent Carter. It's getting really good reviews. I'm just not interested in the whole period piece thing.
Yeah. I have a problem with things where like prequels where I know what's gonna happen and I know.
Yeah.
It's why I haven't watched Better Call Saul.
Oh, Better Call Saul was really good. I like it. But anyway, I've heard Agent Carter's good, but at this point I just want it to be over so Shield can come back.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, neither show is doing very well. I think the saving grace though is that it's ABC, which Disney owns.
Yeah,
Disney owns Marvel. Yeah. So I don't think Disney is going to be in a rush to be like, oh well, I guess we'll cancel it then.
As long as it's without a doubt my favorite Marvel movie.
Yeah,
Captain America 2. It's amazing. Number 2, I have The Raid 2.
Oh.
Like Andrew said, it was the cinematography in that movie is just off the wall, insane. Some of the action scenes, you're like, how did they shoot that?
How did they make that happen?
How did they make that happen?
Yeah.
And it was just really good. It's long.
It is.
It's long, and the action, it takes a while to build up, but when it does, it fucking shoots off like a bullet.
The thing is, like, for me, The Raid Redemption, I really liked it because it was just a straight, intense action film. And it was like a bottle episode action film where they're stuck in this tower just fighting dudes. And I thought it was, like, nonstop awesome. The Raid 2, again, I feel like it's the better movie because there's, like, an actual plot and characters.
There's an actual plot in the first one, though.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just basically they go and it's like, okay, got to take down this crime lord. Let's get to the top. Again, I really like the first one, but it's very bare bones. Whereas the second one is more intricate. There's like the whole.
Yeah.
I feel like the Raid Redemption is very similar to Dread. So much so that because they came out at the same time, like what was it?
People thought one of them ripped each other off, and then both the directors said like, "This is really funny because." There's no way that could happen.
Because they came out so close together.
It's just two people that had two good ideas that happen to be the same.
Yeah, and to me, I feel like the Raid 2 is more like The Departed or Infernal Affairs, really.
Departed's a good...
Yeah, because it's just that like embedded undercover agent story. It was very good. I feel like the thing that took me out of it was, and I know you will disagree because you like this part, the mini-boss characters.
Oh, I loved it.
They were cool, but I just felt like they got introduced. At least the blind girl, or no, she wasn't blind. The girl with the glasses.
Yeah,
who
just
had the hammers.
Her face was messed up.
Yeah, and the guy with the baseball bat. I felt like they got introduced so late in the movie. I was already like, okay, we have enough villains. So
yeah, they just kind of need like, oh crap, we need something to make you feel like this is it.
Mm-hmm.
But like the thing about Ray 2 is, first of all, you're never gonna find like action better than that.
No, and the fact that they're gonna try and remake them with it's stupid. Don't do that.
Like it's the combat's off the top, and you don't think ever like, oh, this could never happen.
Yeah, it's
the
very
prison
well
fight
done.
scene in the beginning is very crazy.
So good.
And it's just like you feel like some sequels, like you feel like movies like the Raid 2, they do like pump up the action, but you also lose like the character development stuff like that. They didn't do that though.
Yeah, they
like you love the main villain.
Uko.
Like
he was awesome.
They didn't do that. Like you still get time, except for obviously the mini bosses towards the end. But they didn't like get rid of anything to just amp something up. Yeah. So I really like that too.
It was definitely good. It was a tough call for me. It was definitely on my list for a while, but it did get kind of just bumped off right at the end.
And then number one, because of movie experience alone, was Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't think I've been to a movie where I felt myself smiling from beginning to end.
Guardians is definitely a very fun movie.
It was good. It's a good movie. You're watching a good movie when like no one's talking. No one talked during Guardians of the Galaxy. They laughed. Yeah. But everyone shut up and they just watched a great movie. Fun. Soundtrack was awesome. As awesome Andrew's dad will tell you.
Awesome Mix Volume 1.
Yep. It's amazing. It was just. It was a real underdog, which was good. You wanted this film to do well, and it delivered. And it was just
I loved the I only read comic books, like actual comic books, like a very brief period. Yeah. And that was Guardians of the Galaxy, like the run that this movie was based on, was one that I really got interested in, and it was very well written. It was very cool, sci-fi, space opera stuff.
Like that's opposite for me. I don't know too much. Like I've read some, I know the characters. Would you say like? I
think they did a good job. I mean, they definitely cranked up the humor a little bit, but that was to be expected. One of the things that I was kind of worried about was, again, with Drax, with Dave Bautista, the character Drax in the comics is a lot more serious than he was in the movies. Yeah. But I just feel like we already have so many intense, quote-unquote, heroic characters like Thor and all that other stuff. So, having him, like, there's times in the comics where Drax will just go off on these philosophical, like, rants. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, like, trying to have Dave Bautista do that, I think, would have been a failure. And B, putting that in the movie just would have not meshed with the tone.
Oh, absolutely.
So I just like everything that's being said about it. It's like a lot of people now are thinking Chris Pratt might get tapped to reboot Indiana Jones because this was essentially space Indiana Jones.
Oh, yeah. It was a space opera.
Yeah, and it was cool. And that's why I think Marvel's doing so well right now, is because they're doing different things.
Yeah, they're trying different things. It just reminds me of how like this works, and then like DC's like statement of like no jokes. Did you hear that? No. Like no more comedy. They're not going to try to do that. They're going to be serious. I don't know if that was real or not. Like I read the article and they did say that.
I would hope not.
But like this just shows you like they can, if like you get someone who cares about what they're writing about, they can make a great movie about anything. And then Rocket Raccoon, who everyone was worried most about, ended up stealing the fucking whole movie. Yeah, and Groot. Bradley Cooper was awesome. Groot was amazing.
Groot became like
Vin Diesel's ability to say one word is one sentence
just
is amazing.
Like Iron Giant. He kind of made
Superman.
hits you with the feels with only like a couple words.
But yeah, it was just a great experience for me. I really liked it. It's probably right below Captain America in terms of.
I mean, this was cool too because Marvel, 2013 was not a great year for Marvel. No. I mean, they hit us with the Avengers, and the Avengers is such a good movie. It's so good. I will say this about the Avengers in retrospect. I really love that movie. Love it. But it's intense because the Avengers, to watch that movie requires watching 5 other movies first.
Yeah, Avengers was like...
You have to watch both Iron Mans, The Incredible Hulk.
It was years in the making, that's why.
First Avengers. Yeah. So it's a really good movie, and it works because it's built on those 5 other ones, but it's not a movie that I could like go see my friend, like Brett and Becky, my friends in Boston, hate. They're not into comic book movies, so I couldn't sit them down and be like, here, watch the Avengers.
So you're saying it's a very situational film?
It is. It's a situational. It's for anybody who like is even giving half of a shit about what Marvel's doing. It was perfect. Yeah. But if you went into just if you were sitting down with somebody who's not seen any of the other movies and showed them the Avengers, there are so many references to what's going on in the other ones that I think it would throw people. I think they'd still be intrigued, but I think they would definitely lose them a little bit. Oh, yeah. Then we had 2013, which was Iron Man 3. You either loved it or you hated it.
I was really sad that I hated that so much because Shane Black did Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
I know.
It was amazing. But he didn't try to do an Iron Man movie. He tried to do like his own movie. Yeah, he tried to I don't want to see Tony Stark the movie. I want to see fucking Iron Man.
I hated Iron Man 3 in the theaters. I recently rewatched it. I liked it better the second time because I knew what it was going to be like. Good. It still didn't blow me away. I didn't like the ending.
Like
I feel like the ending.
We can't talk about Iron Man.
Yeah, we can't go down that one. But anyway, then Thor: The Dark World was just a very average movie. So
it was there.
Yeah, I mean, it was not bad. It wasn't good. It was just kind of there. I liked it. It was just it's a superhero movie.
Villains. thing made no fucking sense.
No, not at all. I'm gonna blow up the universe because.
You're on the universe.
but then yeah, then we had this year, and it was like Captain America 2. I think people were excited for, and it definitely delivered. But Guardians of the Galaxy was this big question mark, and everybody was like, "This is the movie. Will Marvel be able to pull it off?"
And they poked fun of that the whole time. Their tagline was "You're welcome," for God's sakes. And it was amazing.
That whole opening skit, like, who are you, Star-Lord? Who?
Oh, come on, man.
Come on, man. But yeah, it's just like this was, and like so many people going in that movie, myself included, were just like, this is gonna be the movie. If this doesn't work, it's gonna be proof that Marvel can't do everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like now I am thinking that about Ant-Man, but just because Ant-Man has had so many problems.
I was excited for it because I was like, holy shit, Edgar Wright.
And now he's out.
Who did the much underappreciated Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Such a good movie.
But he left. I don't know how much they kept of his draft.
I have no idea.
Because obviously they didn't let him do something he wanted.
I feel like he probably wanted to go really intense comedy. And then you watch that trailer.
He's a guy who shrinks. I mean, why not?
Yeah, I fucking hate the character of Ant-Man, by the way.
I love Paul Rudd, though.
Love Paul Rudd. I don't like that character. I don't give a shit about the whole, he shrinks. Like, I just don't. And so, that trailer came out. It was just such a generic trailer. It was just like,
it was.
And it, like, tried to make it look, like, really serious there. And then there's the couple joke bits at the end. And you're like, okay, is it going to be funny or is it going to be dramatic? So I have no idea what to expect out of that one. But I feel like if Ant-Man trips and falls on his face, it's because there was all this
but like, yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy
camera drama
is the reason why, because all those they're produced by his name's like Kevin
Feige.
Kevin Feige.
Or
and that makes me
Kevin or
yeah.
Ken?
No, you're right. It's Kevin Feige. It makes me.
Why do I know that name? I don't know.
It makes me really excited for Spider-Man. The Spider-Man news.
Yeah.
Now that he's producing.
Very good.
The new one.
And it's the thing where it's like technically Sony's.
Technically, it's that, but they're like. It's basically Sony saving face by saying we have no fucking idea what we're doing.
Oh yeah.
So can you write on a paper what makes Spider-Man good?
you make Spider-Man.
Because Jamie Foxx wasn't it, I guess.
Oh, you didn't like Dubstep Electro? But he was playing the theme to A Long Game of Spider. All right. Anyway, so we've gone on a little tangent there. So yeah. All right. So
that was mine.
That's yours. So I'm gonna do my top 10 list now. All right, so my number 10 pick was one that I just watched the other day. I rented it, like, literally, like, 5 days ago. Our buddy John Abarca, who lives out in L.A. now, so
fancy.
I know, he's fancy smashy. JJA Studios. John, who's, we have to thank him because he's going to be helping us out with some of the technical stuff.
Because God knows we need it.
Yeah, we have no idea what we're doing with this stuff. So he's going to be, but he was telling me up and down, like, dude, go watch Draft Day. It's a Kevin Costner movie. It came out, I think...
Of Waterworld fame?
Kevin Costner.
When are making Waterworld 2? Wetter World.
I don't know when, and I can't wait. But he was telling me, dude, watch this Draft Day movie. You're going to like it. And I heard, like, really not a whole lot about it. And honestly, like, for all these movies that we're talking about right now, I looked up the Rotten Tomatoes score, just kind of look at them.
Yeah.
And it's really funny because this movie only has a 60% fresh rating. It's actually not certified fresh on their scale. Like, you have to be...
Okay.
To be certified fresh, which means like certified good movie, you have to be, I think, above like 75 or something.
Oh my god, is that why it's called Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, did you not get that?
Holy fuck! I always wondered, I was like, what?
Why Rotten Tomatoes?
I was like, what? I get tomato. Oh my god, alright, keep going.
Anyway, it does not have a very high score, and I was really surprised because I watched this movie the other day and I loved it. And this movie actually beat How to Train Your Dragon 2 for me. I was really surprised. And like I think the big thing for me is I'm a football guy. I like football. I will say my fantasy football team got killed this year. I came in last place, so I didn't do that well.
Why did you shout out that?
Because I just, I've got to...
I'm failing, I'm floundering, I don't know what to do, my palms are sweaty.
But I will say, my college team did make it to a bowl game. Georgia, they won. Mm-hmm. And more importantly, my chosen NFL team just won the Super Bowl, so... Make of that as you will. But anyway, Draft Day... It was just a fun movie. It's definitely... I feel like the reason it's got a lower score is because you have to be a sports fan.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it takes place in one day, on the day of the NFL draft, where I thought that would be so boring, and they made it really interesting with like the backroom dealings and how they make these decisions. Kevin Costner was awesome in it. So for me, Draft Day was like kind of a dark horse, and just like came out of nowhere and like really knocked me on my feet, and I was like, oh, I didn't expect anything from it, and I was very happily surprised. So that was Draft Day. For number 9 is Edge of Tomorrow. As we said, really fun movie.
Yeah.
Again, one that I think nobody expected anything out of. I think me and our friend Alex, who is also sometimes on the
he is a member of his team.
Alex, like, we were just hanging out one day, and I was like, oh, let's go watch a movie. And he goes, oh, what do you want to watch? And I was like, I don't know. Should we go see that Edge of Tomorrow? And we walked out of it being like, that was an amazing choice. We did very well. Because, I mean, that thing was just so cool. Again, like, the whole idea of Tom Cruise having to learn to be the action hero he usually is in movies. That was definitely cool.
He wasn't even, I don't think, like, once again, like Oblivion, he wasn't first to play.
Wait, he wasn't the first choice?
I don't think so.
That would be interesting.
I think it was, I don't remember.
Somebody else. Interesting. So that was Edge of Tomorrow. I think we already talked about Edge of Tomorrow enough. I mean, it was just a good movie, underrated. Please go see it. It was awesome. Definitely one of the coolest things. I will say this: the reason Edge of Tomorrow is so low on my list is the ending for me. Without going into too many spoilers, I think the ending just kind of wrapped things up in a way that I was like, I don't know. I think it didn't exactly make sense time travel wise, and that's the big thing about time travel movies. You know, you have to try and make them make sense. I love this movie. I love Looper. But there are those certain time travel paradoxes that
you really have to suspend your...
Yeah, absolutely.
Disbelief.
I felt like this one a little bit more with Looper, because the ending happens, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was still a fun movie, but the ending kind of does take me out of it just a little bit. My number 8 is going to be the Lego Movie. Definitely my favorite animated movie this year. I'm going to completely disagree with you. I thought
I knew you would.
The human part is what made it for me. I thought that movie was just such a generic, like, fun, but just kind of empty movie overall. I was like, this is good, but it's not knocking me on my feet. I didn't understand why people were going so nuts for it. And then the ending happened. I literally had like a freaking conniption fit. Like, I was like literally like, oh my god, oh. And
EMTs show up, another Lego Movie death.
Like, I mean, you know, like the whole heartwarming thing there of like the father and son bonding thing going on, but also more importantly, that fucking Lego guy moves on his own there at the end. So they're self-aware.
Oh my god, wait a minute, I forgot about that. They are magical still.
They are magical because he moves himself. And that just made me get all existential on this fucking movie. I'm like, are we
that would freak me out.
I was like, are we just gods, Legos?
I have Legos in my room.
What are they doing?
Are they moving at night?
Toy Story wise. So, like, the ending really made it for me. Because I was like, it's a good movie overall. And it's definitely one of the better kids' movies that's come out. But the ending is really what made me go, oh, this is awesome.
Wait a minute, did you just asking for all God's Lego pieces?
Yes, I did.
Is he just building a house for us? What are we, man?
What are we? Which playset are we in?
Is he just switching my heads? Who am I?
I definitely think, too, here's the thing. I will say this. I think it's a shame that he didn't get the Oscar nomination. At least the Oscar nomination.
The nomination would be well
I have no fucking idea what the other two movies are. Like, the Box Trolls, I've heard nothing about. Like,
wait.
Big Hero 6 deserves to be there.
Yeah, Big Hero 6 at least deserves
How to Train Your Dragon, I would not be surprised if it won. It did win the Golden Globe, but I don't think... Like, the Box Trolls I've heard nothing about.
I feel like I've heard, like, one thing, a quick, like, Box Trolls.
It was a stop-motion animation.
Did George Lucas do that?
No, he did the one Strange Magic that just came out this last month.
Okay.
But yeah.
If I haven't heard of it, I don't feel like it should be there.
And then there's another two, I think they're foreign movies, maybe? But, yeah, the other two, I don't think anybody's even heard of. And I've heard this argument that's like, oh... well, you know, the Lego Movie already did really well on its own anyway, so let's let the nominations go to these other two small movies that might be a little bit more deserving, and that'll get more, you know, word of mouth. Fuck that. Lego Movie was awesome. Fuck that shit. Give it to the person who earned it, and it was the fucking Lego Movie for me. I mean, that movie was awesome.
Because they were real.
Because we are all gods.
Obviously, Andrew's having an existential crisis.
You know, just...
I imagine you have a cork board at home. It's got a bunch of strings just going all throughout your room. Like, are they real? You got newspaper clippings that have nothing to do with anything.
Man walks dog.
Man walks down. Dog, did the Lego do it?
But yeah, I mean, it definitely was awesome for me, and yeah, I was going nuts during that movie. Here's the thing. I will say this one last thing about the Oscars. If it fucking wins Best Song, that would be such a slap in the face. And
Everything is Awesome, that song?
Yes, and I'll say this because it would be... I think a lot of people are like, oh, I hope it wins Best Song tomorrow because then, you know, at least it gets something. If the name of your song is Everything is Awesome, and then you got fucking snubbed for the fucking Oscar... I feel like I wouldn't want to win for Everything is Awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't
just
like that. Like,
double slap.
Because that's just like the charm of the movie doesn't come from that song.
Yeah, and I mean the song was catchy, but the thing
it's literally just Everything is Awesome repeated maybe 4 minutes.
And the thing was, it was a meta song about like how shitty most pop music is.
Yeah.
And the fact that we now are gonna nominate it for an Oscar is kind of crazy to me.
It's kind of really like surreal.
Yeah, and it was just it's whatever. All right, so that was a Lego movie. What's next? Number 7 was Chef. It was a Jon Favreau movie. It was really under the radar. It's on Netflix right now. Just go fucking watch it.
I'm actually going to watch it really soon.
It was really good. It's definitely a foodie movie, so if you're not into...
Say that again.
Foodie movie?
It's a foodie foodie movie.
It's a foodie movie.
You sound like the Swedish Chef from Muppets.
Foodie movie. Here's the thing about the Chef movie though. It was really cool. It's a stacked cast. You know, he's got John Leguizamo, he's got Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, Dustin Hoffman, Oliver Platt. Everybody shows up for at least.
Robert Downey Jr. You saying he only does like a small cameo?
He does like a small cameo, but it's one of those things where you know that Jon Favreau just called in favors for people and was like, "Come be in this."
He's like, "Remember Iron Man?
Remember?
You gotta come do Chef."
Yep, you gotta come do Chef. And hey, you know, his scene was fun. So it was definitely cool. Will's coming downstairs right now. Or is it Kevin?
No, it's Will.
Oh, it's Will.
I can tell by the way they walk.
Doing our podcast, bro. We're gonna have to cut this part out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to cut this part. John!
John, we're gonna cut this part. Yeah. No, it's cool. Wanna hang out? Oh, okay.
We'll get you in here eventually. Yeah,
hey, guess who's stuck here tonight? Yeah, because Caleb brought me over, and then he was...
Cut all this!
We're gonna cut all this, by the way. Nobody cares about this. But yeah, he brought me over, and then he wasn't feeling good, so... I'm stuck here with you guys.
Did you bring beer?
No.
That's okay. That's... Damn, bro.
Oh, I didn't... Oh, my God.
Shit, you're right.
We're over... Alright, let's go through your list, and then we'll be done.
Yeah. Alright. Bye, Will. Alright, yeah, so this whole part is blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah.
What was I saying? Yeah, anyway. So the thing about this foodie movie is that, the thing is, like, if you're not into the whole... Like, if you've never watched an episode of, like, an Anthony Bourdain show or anything like that, if you've ever watched one of those and been like, this is really fucking boring, then this movie's not going to sell you.
Wait, so you don't think on its own, like, if you're like, hey, this is a movie, it's not interesting on its own?
No, what I'm saying is, if you're not interested in foodie culture, I don't think this is a movie that's going to win you over.
I don't think I am, but I have an inkling to watch it.
I think people who are on the fence about, like, who are, like, not super into foodie culture will still get it. But if you're somebody who really doesn't give a shit about it, and it's like, I could give less of a fuck, give me my McDonald's hamburger, fuck your foodiness. Like, yeah, I don't know that this movie's gonna win you over, but at that point, it sounds like your mind would already be made up anyway. For people on the fence, I think they're gonna love this movie, because, like, the kid in it, I don't remember his name, but, there's a kid in it who plays Jon Favreau's estranged son in the movie. He was actually really good. Mm-hmm. I mean, he wasn't like the best child actor that's ever lived, but he did a good job, and their whole dynamic was really good. And then the whole idea of the movie being about, you know, embrace your passion, and do what you love was really cool. So, I mean, Chef really won me over. Seriously, it's on Netflix right now. Go fucking watch that movie.
Did you tell parents to watch it? Did they ever watch it?
No, I don't know if they did yet.
Dad's like, fuck food! Where's the soundtrack?
John put awesome mix to that movie, and my dad's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
People are gonna listen to this and be like, "This guy's dad says fuck a lot."
Is his dad in jail? Is he a deranged bodybuilder?
I hope he listens to this. Like, what the fuck, man?
Oh no, I forgot he might listen to it. John Garvetta, I apologize.
All right, so my number, what number am I on now? 10. So number 5, X-Men: Days of Future Past.
Yes. Is it the same as me?
Huh?
Because it retconned?
The retcon was a big thing. Here's the thing. When I saw it the first time in trailer, when the first time I saw this movie in theaters, I wasn't blown away. Like, everybody else I went to see it with was like, this is like the greatest fucking thing ever. And I wasn't blown away by it because I was nerding out and just like, oh, this doesn't match up with this. This doesn't match up with X-Men Origins. This doesn't match up with the original trilogy. And I had to go back and see it again. And that's when I went to see it with you, where I was like, I need to go into this, turn my fucking brain off, and just pay attention to the movie as it is. Because Bryan Singer really couldn't do anything about those other movies. So, I mean, he did what he had to do. First Class is, I think, one of the better X-Men movies.
Oh, it's great.
And then Future Past, I think, did a great job of continuing
My question is that movie, do you think if, like, Last Stand was good or whatever, or if it never happened, do you think they would have made that movie, or is that specifically made to get rid of that bullshit?
I'm not sure. I mean, it's an iconic storyline.
I feel like it's a complicated one to do just to, like... Yeah. I feel like it had purpose. It's like, we want to do future X-Men movies, but this has to go.
Yeah. I think it was definitely on purpose, so they were like, of all the ones they chose to do Days of Future Past. Yeah. Because they were like, this is going to wipe out all that crap and, like, get the X-Men movies to being awesome again. And the fact that we've got Nightcrawler coming in, the fact that we have, they've cast Young Storm. I have no idea who the Young Storm is. I have no idea who the Young Cyclops is.
But they're there, though. That's the thing.
But that's cool. And fucking Sophie Turner as
Oh my god, she's Jean Grey. I forgot that.
I'm really excited about that.
Sansa Stark.
Because she's been getting better as Game of Thrones goes on.
Especially last season.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So, and a lot of people pointing out in the last season, she kind of shows the dark side of Sansa that I think is going to help with Jean.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That's a cool connection.
Days of Future Past, definitely, like, one of the better comic book movies that's come out in a few years. That's one of those movies I just watch the trailer when I'm at home, and if I'm really bored and have nothing to do, like, or if I'm at work and I'm on break and I have nothing to do.
We're recording.
Okay, so I mean, X-Men: Days of Future Past. It's one of those movies I can just put the trailer on and just watch it. Like if I'm at work and I have nothing going on break, I can just put that movie's trailer
Had
on.
a good trailer.
It's so good.
Had a very good trailer.
It's just a really satisfying movie. So, okay, so moving on. Number 4, The Imitation Game. This was a late December movie.
I don't know anything about this one.
This was great. This is Benedict Cumberbatch. It's technically a 2014 movie, even though it only got a wide release in
Wait, this
January.
is the one where he's like a hacker, right? And he has weird hair.
No.
What's that one?
That was the fucking. That was the one about WikiLeaks. That was a couple years ago.
Yeah, he played an albino.
I don't know. But in this one, he's Alan Turing, the guy who made the code-breaking device.
Oh, okay.
That broke the supposedly unbreakable Nazi code.
Yeah.
Really well done movie. Awesome performance by him. Really good performance by Keira Knightley. It's one of those movies where you watch it like, this is really interesting and very cool. And then you hit the ending and you're like, oh, it was a very depressing story.
Yeah. So wait, so this just made it in. This was like a late. This was a December.
This was a
2014?
late. Yeah, it came out. It was a limited release in December. It was kind of like
I was
Selma.
about to say, I feel like I didn't hear anything about it.
It was like Selma and American Sniper, where it came out very limited release in 2014 just to get it in for the 25th for the Oscars it's playing tomorrow.
Okay.
So like that's why he's nominated for Best Actor. She's nominated for Best Actress.
Yeah.
Overall, awesome movie. Like really clever. Definitely worth checking out. But yeah, really depressing ending because you're like, oh.
I assume it would be.
Yeah. Oh. I'm not gonna spoil it, so I'll just say, oh.
Benedict Cumberbatch is in it. Spoiled.
Spoiled. He's Khan. Spoiler.
He's not Khan. He's Khan. We should have just told you.
Sorry. Alright, so number 3 is a controversial one, but it's Gone Girl. This movie was awesome. I loved it. I know.
Why would it be a controversial one?
There are a lot of people who hate this movie because they think it's very sexist. And I can't really go into that without spoiling the ending.
Would you classify yourself as sexist?
No, I don't think I would. No, I would not. It's one of those things where like I get the reasons behind it, but the movie, it's a murder mystery. The question is, of course, did Ben Affleck's character murder his wife?
His wife's the Gone Girl.
Yeah.
I did it. I figured it out.
You won the movie.
Some mystery.
But the whole thing is like it just preys upon your preconceived notions. Like he's like so fucking like guilty seeming throughout, and you're just like, oh, is he, or do we just assume that he is because it's that stereotype of, oh, the husband did it. Yeah. But I mean, he was really good. Rosamund Pike plays his wife in the movie. She's fantastic. Completely makes you forget about the time she was in Die Another Day.
Oh, she was.
Yeah, she was the evil.
Forget about MPH. Talk about the MPH.
Oh my god, MPH is real creepy in this movie. He's so good. Tyler Perry is amazing in this movie.
From what I hear, when he's just being Tyler Perry, he's really good in shit.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you're watching this movie, and you're like, damn, he is so good. Why is he making like so many weird movies?
If only he quit his vigilante work and be dressing up as a fucking late 60s elderly black woman, say protecting our city.
Yep, he's out there. But yeah, I mean, Gone Girl, it's a controversial choice, but I think a lot of people like this movie. The Schmoes Know and Jeremy Jaws, who are two of my favorite YouTube reviewer people. They're the two guys. Well, it's three guys really. It's two Schmoes and Jeremy Jaws. They're the groups that inspired me to do my blog and to do this.
Yep.
And they do their own award show every year called the U Reviewers. And I just watched it the other night. And it's like people vote. So it's like people vote. And Gone Girl won for like Best Actress, and I think she won for Best Actress, and I think they gave it to David Fincher for Best Director, which is funny because in the Oscar race he's not even getting mentioned.
In it, yeah.
I don't know if he's nominated or not. He might be. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he's definitely, if he is nominated, they're not talking about him. They're talking about Inarritu and they're talking about Linklater. But yeah, Gone Girl was awesome. I liked it. I could watch it over and over again. And it's one of those movies where you hit the twist, it comes at one point, and you're just like, oh, shit. And it's just very cool. So I recommend it. I mean, I guess there are some people out there who really don't like it.
Wait, so what number was that for you again?
That was my number 3.
Okay. Oh, we're getting to the end.
This is it. So number 2, this is a movie I was convinced was going to be my number 1, and it's Birdman. And I saw that back in December.
What? Last I checked your list, it was number 1.
Yeah, it's no longer.
I don't like secrets. I don't like change.
Birdman was fucking awesome. I mean, it is. Obviously, there's the whole thing of director Alejandro Inarritu, he does this whole thing where it's not one take, but it's shot to look that way.
Yeah.
Like it's one track shot. So it's very clever editing, awesome camera work, really clever movie, awesome performance by Michael Keaton. Obviously everybody's talking about it because it kind of seems to reflect his real life as playing a superhero and then kind of dropping off the face of the planet for a little bit. But Emma Stone's really good in it. Edward Norton's really good in it. Zach Galifianakis was pretty good.
Wait, you say Emma Stone?
Emma Stone's in it, yeah.
She's in it?
Yeah, she's nominated for Best Supporting Actress.
Not. What is she like? Is she like a main?
She plays Michael Keaton's like kind of stuck up like druggy daughter.
Wow, I didn't know she was in it at all.
Yeah, she kills it. The thing is, like, a lot of people are talking about Birdman. I've heard some people kind of say, most people agree that Birdman's really good. I've heard a couple of people say it's overrated because I think it's just the things to point out about it are Michael Keaton's good and the camera work, like cinematography's really good. But then the movie itself isn't all that cracked up to be. I really disagree. It's this entire, like, breakdown of how modern cinema works. And, like, this whole debate over whether the big popcorn movies are art. And while it certainly doesn't kind of say... it certainly kind of comes from the idea that they're not, in a way. But it was just so entertaining. The thing that I think is really cool is just a scene where he's, like, completely, like, kind of losing it. Because he's playing a washed-up actor who's trying to make it on Broadway to prove that he's got actual talent, not just starring in, like, summer blockbusters. And he just starts to lose it because of all the pressure. And there's this scene where, like, he's listening to his Birdman persona that he played in the movies. It's, like, essentially his Gollum.
Yeah.
The Gollum to his Smeagol, and he's kind of going nuts. And there's this scene where he's imagining, like, the scenario of a Birdman 4. Like, why don't I just take the easy route and make another one that people will gobble up? And there's this scene where, like, the persona that he's playing, this other persona of his, it's like him in the Birdman suit, like, on his shoulder, essentially. Like, suddenly just stares in the camera and starts talking about, how shitty popcorn movies are. And there's all these explosions and there's special effects going on. And that's the thing that they keep putting in the trailer, which I think is so funny. They keep
I was about to say, that's all I've seen of it is that
one mark, and it's that scene when they're making fun of movies that are like that.
Yeah.
Like, the rest of the movie is just a lot of, like, dialogue, but it's just such a clever movie, and I thought it was really cool. It was just one of those movies that kind of blew me away, and I was like, I walked out of the theater, I went to see it with my friend Jared, and he and I walked out, and I was like, that really was awesome. And, I mean, obviously, I've got multiple movies on this list, but, I mean, that one...
Michael Keaton's back.
Michael Keaton's
He's come a long way from... Is that the one that bat nipples? His Batman?
No, he was in the first two Tim Burton movies. Okay. I just realized something. My page cut off an entry. So I just said that Birdman was my my number 2... Or, sorry. Yeah, I said Birdman was my... my number 3 pick got lost there. My page cut it off. My number 3 pick. So I'm taking a step back here. It got cut off somehow. So number 5 for me was X-Men: Days of Future Past. 7, 9, 8, 7, 6. So number 6 was X-Men: Days of Future Past. Number 5 was Imitation Game. Gone Girl was 4. My 3rd pick got cut off. And that's probably one where people are like, oh, where the fuck would that be? Captain America.
Oh, okay.
Captain America number 2.
I thought that was going to be your number 1, that's why.
No, Captain America Winter Soldier was my number 3 pick. Sorry, it got cut off somehow, and I was like, oh, wait, I didn't think I'd talk about that. I mean, we already talked about that before. It was an awesome spy thriller. That's a movie I can watch over and over again.
Yeah.
And as I was saying with the Avengers earlier, like how the Avengers, I feel like you can't watch it.
Yeah, you don't get that.
I feel like you can... I feel like I could sit down with somebody who's never watched any of the Marvel movies and be like, watch this movie and tell me what you think.
Yeah, because it's shot differently. It's just made differently.
And I feel like you could just give him like the bare minimum introduction to the he was frozen in time and he was from World War II. Okay, here you go.
Yeah.
And like I feel like people could still have a really good time with that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was awesome. It was nice to see Scarlett Johansson kind of become a character. And I mean, she started that in Avengers, but I mean, looking back on Iron Man 2, that was so bad because she was just there and she was hot and that was
She was just eye candy. It was kind of annoying.
Yeah, and I was like, man, that's really weird.
I was like, I know you're setting it up, but you could set her up in a much cooler way.
Yeah, and so I mean, she was awesome in this. I thought Captain America 2 was awesome. So sorry, that was my number 3. Then Birdman. So now my number 1 pick. This is a movie I only just saw like a week or 2 ago, and this was a movie that had a limited release because it's more of an indie movie. It was playing nowhere in Connecticut over the last month and a half.
Where did you go? Did you take like a boat or something? Like a man with a lantern?
It finally came to the main theater because now that the Oscars are coming out this month, and really they're coming out tomorrow. There are the main theater is now showing all of like the big Oscar contenders.
Mm-hmm.
So they quickly, on a very small limited release, played this just for the whole like, oh, it's nominated for Oscars, go see it. Fucking Whiplash.
Oh yeah, okay.
Fucking Whiplash. This was the movie I wanted to see the most. And at one point, like, my friend Jared and I were so desperate to see it, we literally typed into like just general like Fandango search of like where's the nearest theater that's playing Whiplash, and it was like Boston.
And you guys contemplate going to Boston?
No, I was at that point I was like, I'm just gonna buy it when it comes out.
In the European release, it's just gonna be called J.K. Simmons Yells.
He is so good in this movie. This was when as soon as I saw the trailer, I was like, I want to see it. See, this was the thing for me, like Foxcatcher. When I saw the trailer for that, I was like, that movie looks crazy. And then the movie was nothing like the trailer.
Yeah.
Because the trailer, I thought, tried to make it look like it was like this.
At this point, it's almost better not to watch trailers at all.
Yeah, but like Foxcatcher, the trailer for that made it look really fast paced, and that's why it was such a like walking into a wall when I went to see it and realizing how slow and methodical and quiet it is. Whereas Whiplash, the trailer, I will say this: there are a couple scenes, having seen it, that were from the end in the trailer, and I hate it when they do that. It doesn't ruin the thing for you, but when you're looking at it afterwards, you're like, oh man, they included like shots like literally that. Like, they're like one of the shots in it is like the shot that ends the movie. And
are you serious?
Like, yeah, and it's like you don't realize that when you're watching the trailer, but afterwards you're like, man, why the fuck did they do that? But like this was a movie that I was like, as soon as I saw the trailer, I'm like, I need to go see this. And I mean, this movie's so intense, and I think it's cool because Whiplash, I feel like, can kind of go hand in hand with Chef. Mm-hmm. Like I said before, like the movie about your passions, whereas Chef, though, it's like the kind of happy, like, embrace your passions, do what you love. And Whiplash is like, if you're not fucking bleeding from the hand, you're not a fucking badass. You know, it's like,
because it seems like I've heard, like, what's his name, Miles Teller?
Miles Teller was
performance
awesome.
Was amazing.
He was fantastic in it. I feel like he's not getting enough recognition, and I know a lot of people are talking about him. But this, I mean, because he's been funny in a lot. He's done, like, comedies, like That Awkward Moment.
Yeah, it's just weird to see him, like, because the last thing I saw him, it was, like, he was in that 21 and Over movie.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really like.
Yeah.
But then just to see him do that, it's just
He does that kind of schmarmy, kind of funny asshole thing going on. But, I mean, the movie that kind of sold me on him was The Spectacular Now with he and Shailene Woodley.
Never saw that.
That was good. And honestly, that was one of those movies where the trailer makes it look like it's going to be such a shitty rom-com, like generic high school rom-com, and it was nothing like that. It was actually really kind of dark in certain ways. Like, not overly dark. That was a couple of years ago now. Okay. I think 2-3 years ago now. I'm not sure when. But it was very good. And that's one of those things that's so funny. It's like Shailene Woodley, like, she goes from being in Secret Life of American Teenager, which is this soapy...
Don't mention the movie you're about to mention. It's going to open the floodgate.
It will. So she was in this soapy, like, kind of show where she got some recognition, but it was like this soapy ABC... I think it's ABC like family, one of the family show channels.
What show?
The Secret Life of American Teenager. The one where she's pregnant and like, oh no, I'm a teenager that's pregnant. And like, you know, it was one of those things where like people watched it, but I don't think anybody was like, this person is going on to it. And then she did The Spectacular Now, where she was really... Or no, sorry, she did The Descendants alongside George Clooney, where she blew people away. Then she went back to finish The Secret Life of a Teenager, and everybody's like, oh, come on. You just proved that you're actually a good actor.
How many times can you get pregnant?
How many times are you going to go back to this script? And then, I think it was then that she did The Spectacular Now with Miles Teller, which was just really good. They were both awesome in it. Then she's in a little movie called Divergent.
Oh, God, here we go. You have to save this for another day, Andrew.
I can tell everybody that Divergent will be making an appearance on another list of mine. I really did not like that
Masterpieces.
movie.
The list is called Masterpieces.
It's a modern American masterpieces. Divergent. Of the Divergent series.
It goes Mona Lisa. Divergent.
Mona Lisa.
They're all beautiful.
Picasso. Divergent.
Looks like shit compared to Divergent.
I fucking hate that movie. And it's just so weird. And you know what's funny? Miles fucking Teller is in Divergent.
Is he a small role?
He's in it enough where you're like, dude.
What? Is that just her being like, you my buddy, come out of this movie?
I guess. I mean, because he's in that. And then Ansel Elgort, who she was just in Fault in Our Stars with, is also in that.
I feel like if I saw him, I'd be like, that's one of those things where you just like, oh man, I feel sorry for you.
I mean,
even though you shouldn't, because Even if it's a shitty movie.
Well, I mean, it's just one of those things where everybody who's in it is not particularly good. I mean, you got Kate Winslet, who's a fantastic actress. She's not good in it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just one of those... Hey, that's a discussion for
you guys
the
are in
next
for a treat
episode.
when he explains that, because he explained it to me, and I was dying laughing.
It's... Yeah. But anyway, I mean, then she did... but it's just one of those things where it's funny with him. I'm making this Shailene Woodley comparison, because he's kind of that same way, where he did 21 and Over, like this generic party movie.
Yeah.
Or he had his first role in Project X, which was also a shitty party movie.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of fake mockumentary thing. Then he did 21 and Over, and everybody's like, oh, he's the funny kind of asshole kid. Then he did That Awkward Moment, which I'll also talk about again at another date, which he was fine in that because it was funny, but it just wasn't a particularly good movie. And then he did That's the Spectacular Now, which was really good, and then he did Whiplash. And Whiplash is one where it's like, all right, he can do those shitty movies because he can then make an amazing movie. And then, of course, J.K. Simmons was just fantastic in it. He had so many good one-liners that... But it's just, the way I describe Whiplash, it's like, it's more intense than any action movie I've ever seen. And it's just a kid playing a drum set.
Yeah, it just seems like it'd be one of those movies like you're on the edge of your seat and like nothing's
The ending,
exploding.
I thought the ending was amazing, but the ending, I was literally grabbing Jared by the arm and like, just, oh my god, what's gonna happen? I hope it turns out okay.
Turns out the drums were real the whole time. They killed his mother.
Whiplash. Plot twist. But yeah, so Whiplash is just one of those movies, like, I bought it yesterday.
Yeah, I really want to see it. It's one of those movies, like, I have to see this.
Oh, so I'm very glad I got to see it, because it was one of those ones where I was like, when I was putting together that list that we opened the movie, this episode with, of the movies I didn't get to see, I have a good feeling that, like, Nightcrawler or Selma or American Sniper
would have taken some
would probably, they probably would have ended up somewhere on this list, but I knew Whiplash was going to be on here somewhere. And now I've seen it, and I'm like, that was easily the best movie.
At any point when J.K. Simmons is yelling, did you ever want to go, I need pictures of Spider-Man?
God damn it, Peter! I can't do J.K. Simmons. Oh.
No one can do J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons could do J.K. Simmons. Do you think that they're going to get him to come back as J. Jonah Jameson?
I don't know. I don't know what Marvel wants to do.
I feel like they won't, because then that would be people will be like, oh, it's the original.
I feel like they're going to definitely do something like, it's not going to be an origin. They're definitely not going to do that again.
I hope not.
And I feel like they're just going to try to branch away from, like, stuff already people seen.
Yeah.
As much as they can. He might make a cameo or something, but it'll be awesome. J.K. Simmons, probably.
Peter Parker!
I need pictures of Spider-Man!
God, it's so funny, because he's played good bad guys in the past. Like, he played the, I think he was, like, the neo-Nazi on Oz or something.
Yep, don't forget all his, what was it, insurance commercials?
His farmer's insurance commercial. Which I saw one of those yesterday. I was like, this motherfucker just was in the best movie. Yes, because he was just in the best movie of the year. He's like nabbing up, like, it's, if he doesn't win the Oscar, it's because like somebody's an asshole. Like, he's won almost every other supporting actor award possible before the Oscars. Yeah. Like, if he doesn't win it tomorrow, it's because, like, somebody was like, he owes me money, sabotage him.
So you're angry when you saw him in that commercial?
So, yeah, then the commercial comes on, I'm like, fuck, I forgot.
I just pictured you, like, eating, like, at a fancy table, eating steak, just really just digging into it, like, son of a bitch! Just
flipping the table.
What are you doing? You're in Whiplash!
You're in Whiplash! Some of the fucking one-liners in that, God, it was definitely an experience where I was like, and I told my friend Brett, who lives, I mentioned him before, he lives in Boston, I was like, did I say this before? When I was like, go see this movie, and he's like,
yeah. So Brett saw it?
Yeah, and I was like, dude, you're a drummer, you're going to like this movie. And he, like, literally texted me yesterday and was like, that was probably the best movie I've seen in years.
I can tell it's good? Because you talk about it with the same, like, kind of style of person who just ate a really good meal. Like, oh, fuck, it's real good. Oh, don't talk to me, though, I'm very full. Oh, man, that was good. Did you try it? Oh, the sauce was delicious.
That's how I feel about The Kingsman right now. But
that's how I feel about that movie, for different reasons.
So, yeah, let's just pump up The Kingsman. Here's the thing. I'll just end it on this, because The Kingsman, go fucking see The Kingsman. Stop fucking seeing 50 Shades of Grey. We all know it's bad. Like, even if it's like a guilty pleasure thing. Even if you love the books, like if you're somebody who's like, oh, I like the book, yeah, it's a guilty book. Read the book. Just read the books. Because, you know, like, let's face it, the whole thing is the books aren't well written, but the sex stuff that you get from the books, that's the whole point of reading the books, it's not in the fucking movie. Yeah. Every single review has been like, anything interesting or sexual, it's not in the movie.
I read them for the character development. Bullshit! You're a liar!
Or just go watch porn, I don't know. But go watch The Kingsman, because it was awesome. Anyway, so that is our list.
we did our first episode.
This was our first episode. Thanks, everybody.
If I had a button thing that like they have in stage sets, I'd press it and they'd be like, "Boo,
boo,
get off the stage and die."
So, thanks anybody who will listen to this, I guess, hopefully.
Or will want to listen.
Yeah. Again, you can follow Steve. Where?
Fist Team. www.twitch.tv/Fist Team.
And how can they follow that on Twitter? Is it just at FIST Team?
Yep. At Twitter, it's just at Fist Team.
At Fist Team. Okay. And then you can follow me. I don't even know what my Twitter handle is for that thing. Let's find out.
Oh shit! Yeah. What is your?
That's a good point. You can tell.
You didn't prepare.
Yeah.
We're floundering.
We're floundering. We can cut this part out. Don't worry.
Cut all of it. Cut like an hour and 20 minutes.
You can tell how infrequently I use my own
Twitter.
Yeah, my own fucking Twitter because I'm like, whoa, what is... Oh, yeah. So, God, it keeps coming up, and I'm like, oh, there it is, and then it goes away. Okay, so you can follow me at escapismblog. Oh, that was easy.
All that. You can follow me. Oh, Andrew Garaventa.
Yeah, we'll cut all that part out. Yeah, so you can follow me at escapismblog. I had a hiatus from it for quite a while. I think the last article I wrote was back in September, and that was back when I was like kind of struggling with the idea of like, did I want to keep gaming or not?
Yeah.
But I am gonna try and keep it updated.
There's some good games that I could like get you into that I feel like would pull you back.
I feel like the thing for me with gaming is like, do I want a new system or not? And that's the big question.
Well, you can always just come over and play because we have all of them except for the Xbox One.
That's true.
Do you want to end this episode by telling them the segment that we have to do?
Oh, yeah, so let's dive into that. So Steve had this idea that what we're going to do to try and keep on top of movies, since obviously we didn't get to see a lot of them from last year until we've been trying to binge them. So we're calling it $5 reviews. So the local Cinemark raves, Cinemark owns it, but it's Rave Cinemas.
I don't know.
It's at Buckland Hill, because we're in Connecticut. So I don't know if we said that or not.
We're in Connecticut.
Don't swat us. But anyway, they have a $5 Tuesday special, and so what we're going to be doing from now on, every couple weeks as more movies come out, we're going to take all the movies that they are currently playing on Tuesday, throwing them into a bowl, and we have to, we're going to pick one. Whichever one we pick, we have to go see. So we did our first drawing tonight, and the movie that we pulled
drum roll, it's SpongeBob.
It's the
fuck.
It's the SpongeBob movie. So Steve and I will be going to see the SpongeBob movie.
I hope there's no underwater creatures in it.
I feel like there's gonna be a lot.
I'm very upset.
I was hoping it was gonna be 50 Shades because then it'd be just two dudes going in.
At least that we could like, I don't know, like 2 tickets for 50 Shades. Like, oh, like the only bad assumption. Well, it's not bad assumption. The only assumption to make is like, oh, they're gay couple. That's nice. Whatever. That's fine. That's perfectly normal. But 2 grown men like 2 tickets to SpongeBob, please. And then they look around like, no kids.
No kids.
Both look ashamed. Something's wrong.
Something's off here.
I imagine they have like a little red phone. They call like police.
Oh, there's 2 creepy guys going to see SpongeBob. Anyway, so we'll be having that episode come out. The next episode we're going to be doing too. Hopefully we can get that one out soon too. It's going to be the worst movies of the year. You've already heard me go off about a couple of them. Man,
prepare to hear about Divergent.
Fuck Divergent.
And fucking Ninja Turtles. I'm looking at you.
I feel like I've seen a lot more worse movies than you.
Yeah, because I avoid them. You purposely. Well, now I'm gonna have to do that too. But you just dive in and you're like, I don't like myself today.
I fucking. That's something we'll get into the next episode. So, thanks again for joining us. Real quick thanks to Caleb Roble, again, one of the members of Fist Team.
Thank you very much, Caleb. And a special thank out to John Abarca,
JJA,
who is going to be fixing this up for us. So, this is a future thanks.
Yeah, future thanks to JJA, who he hangs out with Johnny Young Bosch.
He did play with Johnny Young Bosch's band.
He opened.
Look at us name dropping. Let me just pick up those names. Even though some people would be like, who?
And thank you. And once again, this was Speak and Destroy the Entertainment Show. Peace!
No!